So nowadays, there's a lot of talk about mental health. Things like anxiety, depression, insomnia, and other things, even like autism and ADHD. But did you know that a huge part of your mental health is the food that you take? Besides the environmental factors, okay? The food that you take is of utmost importance. So today I'm going to be speaking about the foods that could potentially be causing your mental health issues or that could potentially aid your mental health issues. Number one, eating too much fried foods. Some of you love your fried foods. You love your chips, your crisps. Okay, I also used to love this stuff, so I'm not faulting you. But if you consume too much of this, guess what? You may be worsening your anxiety, you may be worsening your insomnia, and in the long time, those two things could cumulatively cause depression. So, if you are consuming too much fried foods, reduce your intake. Number two, consuming seed oils. We know that most of the time, seed oils and fried foods go hand in hand because most fried foods are made with seed oils. But regardless, consuming seed oils, even just cooking with it, even if it's less, that can cause inflammation. There's a gut brain connection, and seed oils, some of them are hypothesized to cause issues with the gut microbiome. I don't know if that is the cause for anxiety. All I know is some people have their anxiety skyrocket when they eat too much seed oils. Okay. Number three is consuming too much sugar. Too much sugar, whether in the form of raw sugar or in the form of sweets and cakes and cookies, causes that up and down blood sugar dysregulation. Reducing your sugar intake is not just about preventing diabetes and preventing heart disease and preventing things like that. It's also about your mental health. If you're having too much anxiety and you perhaps consume too much sugar, consider lowering your intake of sugar. The next thing we're going to talk about is fat. Just because a fat is healthier, potentially healthier than some other fats, for instance, butter, ghee, beef tallow, lard, coconut oil, just because it's healthier, does not mean you consume too much. It should not consist of more than a tenth of your food intake. And there are fats that are easy to consume, like butter. Okay, you just lathering it on, or stuff like peanut butter. You might be putting too much, and sometimes some people's bodies do not like lots of fat. Just because you're not gaining weight does not mean you eat a lot of fat, because it has other inflammatory properties. It can cause you insomnia, anxiety, etc., mental health troubles. When I speak about anxiety here and insomnia, also people with autism and ADHD, some of you will be affected by some of these foods if you consume too much of them. Okay. Something else, some of you are affected easily by coffee and black tea. I'm one of those people who are affected so easily by coffee. I hate it that I'm affected that easily, but I am. But because I know when I take coffee, I just feel more alert. I'm able to do more stuff and things just seem much more easier. But alas, whenever I consume coffee, bam, insomnia. And if I consume it over too many days, anxiety. There are some of you here in the same boat, but you do not know. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have insomnia, stuff like that, Consider reducing or even eliminating coffee. I had to eliminate it. I don't like that. I had to eliminate black tea. I don't like that. I love black tea, but I can't take it. So, caffeine. Caffeine is affecting some of you negatively. Next, iron. Some of you are anemic. Some people are not consuming enough iron, thereby leading to anxiety. Vegans and vegetarians. Being a vegan and vegetarian or a vegetarian, it means you have to pay so much more attention to your diet, because it's easy to not consume enough iron, to not consume enough B12. And a deficiency in those can cause mental health issues like depression, insomnia, anxiety, and the others. So there are many people who, once they start a vegetarian diet, they get mental health problems because they are not eating the necessary amount of iron and B12. You need to be more on top of your diet if you're vegetarian and vegan in terms of your iron and B12 intake. Also, some of you guys, you take your black tea, your coffee with every single meal. So you may be thinking, I'm taking enough iron, I'm eating all these foods with enough iron. But the coffee, the black tea, the hot chocolate is massively reducing your absorption of iron. There are many teas that do this. Even green tea, even rosemary tea. If you drink that with your meals all the time, it reduces your absorption of iron. And we don't want that, because if you're not paying attention to your diet, it's easy to get low on iron. And you get low on iron and B12 and that kind of stuff, mental health issues, anxiety, depression. So guys, if you are suffering from mental health issues, pay attention to these things I have mentioned. You may just be lacking enough to be able to improve your mental health without taking, the psychiatric drugs like antidepressants, which can have negative effects on some people. But what if you could just improve your mental health just by changing your diet? I was also in this boat once upon a time, and I was lucky to improve my mental health just by eating better. Till next time.